WCBI News at 6 starts now.
Good evening, everyone. For 7 months, it seems we've been waiting on some type of normalcy. Watching high school football in September in the South, well, that feels pretty normal. With 25% capacity now allowed at stadiums, more people will experience that tradition. WCBI's Bobby Martinez is live in Starkville with how some schools are handling the new rules. Bobby?
Joey, that is right. The Starkville and West Point game is a big rivalry game, which means tickets will go by very fast. And today I spoke to Starkville Athletic Director on how you can purchase the ticket and also rules put in place before entering the game.
And thankfully, the executive order changed and allowed us to go 25%, which will give us more fans in our stadium.
It will be a Friday night special in Starkville. Two powerhouse football programs ready to lay it out all on the field for the game they love, which means tickets will be in high demand.
Tickets go on sale to the general public here for home side on Wednesday from 5:30 to 7 at the home ticket booth. We're a very limited amount of tickets remaining for that, but we will be able to sell to our public for that night.
So if you were lucky enough to purchase a ticket, there are some rules Owen wants spectators to be aware of.
Our community really help us out as well in remembering the 3 W's. Wash your hands, watch your distance, and wear your mask. And those are the general guidelines that we're asking all of our people, all of our guests to do, whether it's our jacket community or our guests from West Point.
Owen says this football season will be like no other because of COVID-19, but is confident his staff will keep spectators safe at all games.
It's new to us all, so it's all in the details. You know, it's a lot of planning that goes into place, making sure that security is in place, and we've done a wonderful job through the years. So I don't doubt any of that. I know that our guys will be ready and to handle the crowds that we're going to get.
Owen also said the gates open at 5:30 p.m. and you must have a ticket before entering the stadium. Most importantly, you must wear a mask. Reporting live in Starkville, Bobby Martinez, WCBI News.
COVID-19 also has many towns worrying about their bottom line. With fewer shops open and fewer people out spending money, tonight, 2 North Mississippi towns will be talking taxes. Starkville aldermen will host a second public hearing on the possibility to raise the taxes in that town, and they're actually meeting right now. City leaders are anticipating losing about $880,000 in sales tax. Half of the tax increase would be to support a grant received by the city. The other half would help make up the shortfall. Winona leaders will also have a public hearing tonight to discuss the town's budget and possible tax increase. COVID is also causing concerns at the polls. Secretary of State Michael Watson talks about that issue today at the Kiwanis Club of Starkville. During his speech, Watson encouraged everyone to make sure they are registered to vote by October 5th. Watson says the country is expecting to see an increase in absentee voting because of the coronavirus. Watson also spoke on mail-in voting and how to prevent voter fraud.
Making sure that we got clean voter rolls. And so we have seen in Mississippi, there are 33 counties that have 90% or more of their voting age population showing as registered voters. Now what you typically see when people are purging the rolls properly is that number's going to be around 75%. Of those 33 counties, there are 5 with over 100%. That's impossible. So either dead people are on the voter rolls, folks that no longer live here, people that have moved out of state or out of their region or county.
Now, Watson believes voting by mail in Mississippi should not be discussed until voter rolls have been cleaned out.
Live view from Columbus, looking towards Pickens County, Alabama. A little thunder shower over there. Pretty small, but there's still just enough oomph, if you will, to provide some madness clouds there in the Anvil. A nice downpour between Aliceville and Carrollton there in Pickens County. A little bit of thunder and lightning, but this thing is really localized. That's really about the only game in town locally. More showers and storms back to the northwest. Those will likely just stay to our northwest this evening. So most of us getting ready for a pretty quiet evening and overnight hours. Lows in the 70s again tonight. I'm back with your 7-day forecast coming up.
Investigators are trying to determine what sparked a deadly Ocklawaha County house fire. Firefighters were called to a mobile home on Jody Young Road just after 11 this morning. Deputies say an older woman was found inside the home. The state fire marshal is assisting Ocklawaha County deputies in the investigation. Coroner Michael Hunt says an autopsy has been ordered. The victim's name has not been released. A husband and wife say their dogs saved their lives by waking them up moments after their house caught fire this morning. Bobby Elliott says the fire broke out at his home on Old Highway 45 in Shannon around 3 a.m. Elliott and his wife managed to escape the fire after their dog, Soldier, began barking, waking the couple up. The homeowner says there is no doubt that Soldier saved both of their lives.
The dog started barking. I woke up, seen smoke, told my wife to get up and get her clothes on, get the dogs, and get out of the house. I had to put my prosthetic leg on. By the time I got my leg on, I'd like to not have made it out of the house. And I'm going to tell you, if it wouldn't been for them dogs, we wouldn't be here today. So we didn't have smoke detectors or nothing like that. It's important. I will not never live in another house that does not have smoke detectors. If you ain't got one, go get one.
Some good advice there. Unfortunately, Soldier went back into the house and passed away. The Elliott's plan to rebuild. Several other dogs made it out of the house. Fire investigators are trying to find what sparked the blaze. New at 6, 2 people, including a child, are dead after a shooting in New Albany yesterday. Police say they were called to Albany Acres Apartments around 9 p.m. On scene, officers found a white Hyundai Elantra with the body of a juvenile and a wounded female inside. During that investigation, police received another call from Baptist Memorial Union County informing them that a man had been admitted to the emergency room with a gunshot wound to the abdomen. The female, 21-year-old Izechia Bogard from Holly Springs, died from her injuries. The names of the juvenile and the other male are not being released at this time. The Mississippi Bureau of Investigation and Union County deputies are assisting in that investigation. The Lowndes County man arrested in a Pickens County shooting is formally charged today. 36-year-old Eric Daniel Jennings is charged with attempted murder, theft of property, and robbery. Jennings was taken into custody in Lowndes County yesterday evening. The shooting happened about 5:30 on Monday morning. Sheriff Todd Hall tells WCBI deputies were called to a home on County Road 75, about a mile north of Highway 82 in the Liberty community. Hall says the victim was shot multiple times and is expected to survive. No other information is being released about the incident at this time. Hall says this remains an active investigation. A Columbus man is arrested in connection with an Oktibbeha County shooting. 22-year-old Traquan Burton is charged with 15 counts of aggravated assault. Investigators believe Burton is the driver of one of the vehicles involved in the July 16th shooting at a store located at the roundabout on Blackjack Road. One person was injured. James Spencer and Jerome Davis have also been arrested in the investigation and are facing the same charges as Burton. Investigators are not saying what led up to the shooting, but more arrests are possible. Burton's bond was set at $150,000. The survivors of a horrific and deadly accident in Oktibbeha County continue to recover in the hospital. 22-year-old Nikendria Roby and 16-year-old Kimbriana Roby both died in the crash. Nikendria was driving a Ford Mustang when it left the road on Old West Point Road and hit a tree. The crash happened early Sunday morning near Camps Airport Road. The young ladies that died are first cousins from Brooksville. Deputies tell WCBI the 3 other passengers in the car remain in the hospital and are stable. One juvenile is at a hospital in Jackson. 2 other crash victims are at a Tupelo hospital. Investigators believe the car was going east on Old West Point Road at a high rate of speed. The accident remains under investigation.
A massive renovation project is underway at the old First Christian Church in Amory. We'll tell you how it will benefit the entire community. That's coming up on WCBI News.
You're watching WCBI's News at 6 with Joey Barnes.
Welcome back, everyone. A former church in Amory is getting a massive makeover. WCBI's Allie Martin tells us about the project and what it will mean for new life for the historic building.
When you drive by the old First Christian Church, you can't help but notice the ornate stained glass windows. Inside, the building is undergoing a major renovation, and when complete, the Windows of Amory will be a cultural, educational, and artistic center for the community.
We're going to get one shot at it, and it has to be done right in order to preserve it for another 100 years.
Steve Stockton is president of the nonprofit group Windows of Amory. 10 years ago, they bought the old First Christian Church building at the corner of 3rd Street and 3rd Avenue, 1 block northeast of Main Street.
The vision is to utilize this building for performing arts, as well as an event venue for weddings, etc. So we're looking forward to increasing the knowledge from this building, having lessons that can be taught here for various forms of art, as well as use it for possibly even things for tutoring, having Wi-Fi available for students.
The goal is to renovate and repair the structure while keeping unique features such as the original floors, pews, hardware, and of course the windows. John Sean Kelly is with the Latham Company from Mobile, Alabama, and he is overseeing work on the stained glass and the wood around it. He learned the craft from his dad in Ireland and says the windows in the old First Christian Church have been well preserved.
I'd rate this, oh my God, the way the glass is and everything, I'd rate this 90%. Now, when we're done with it, it'll be 100%.
Stacy Forbes is a realtor, insurance agent, and board member for Windows of Amory. She says the project will have a positive impact on the entire area.
It brings the community together. It gives us something to share, a common chord to get involved with, to be a part of.
It is a major project to renovate a historic landmark. The goal is to have the Windows of Amory opened by the 100th anniversary of the building. That would be 2026. In Amory, Allie Martin, WCBI News.
The total cost for the project is estimated at $1.4 million. About half of that amount has been raised so far. The Create Foundation is handling donations for the Windows of Amory project. All right, Keith, not many storms out there this evening, so that means it's hot.
It's just plenty of heat and humidity out there, Joe. Yeah, so we've missed out on a lot of the rain and storms so far. We're still looking at some on radar. I can't rule out some looking forward for the rest of the work week, but we should be a little bit drier, a little bit less humid by the weekend, your holiday weekend. More coming up next.
Your WCBI First Alert AccuWeather forecast with Chief Meteorologist Keith Gibson.
Let's talk about the upcoming Labor Day weekend. Boy, I'm just so excited I can't even speak tonight. Saturday, Sunday, upper 80s, low 90s, lower humidity. That should give rise to some 60s for the overnights, and then by Monday a chance for a few showers and storms again. Let's talk about the averages for the month of September. In Tupelo, right now the average high about 90, the average low about the upper 60s. We're going to be down into the lower 80s and upper 50s in Tupelo as we get into the end of the month. And rainfall this month, just over 3 inches of rain. Same story in Columbus and also for Starkville. So still pretty warm now, but by the end of this month, the averages will be a little bit more tolerable. And this is actually the driest month of the year. And we mentioned this yesterday. We had no rain essentially last September, but I think we'll have a little bit more than that this year. A live view with our Alpha Insurance Camera Network. We have some high overcast, some clouds out there, plenty of heat, plenty of humidity. It still feels like the surface of the sun. 100 degrees is what it feels like in Columbus and Tupelo right now, 100 in Winona, 102 in West Point. So we've had a little bit of rain out there. One shower southeast of Carrollton, Alabama, and a few other showers and storms here. South Haven, Clarksdale, West Helena, Arkansas, but this is moving more northeast than east. However, just issued for the next couple of hours for Lafayette County points northwest severe thunderstorm watch. We don't really expect a lot, if anything, in our area that's the far northwestern fringe. We really don't even think there's going to be anything too terrible, probably in Oxford at this point, but there's a couple of storms out there in the Delta. We'll just keep monitoring for the next couple of hours. More rain, more storms back to the northwest, and there's going to be a lot of rain over the next couple of days just to our northwest, but we're probably not going to see that much here. For tonight, down into the mid to low 70s, mainly clear to partly cloudy. For tomorrow in West Point, we start out in the 70s and then back into the low to mid 90s. It's going to be a warm day. The heat index in the low 100s. So there's an outside chance for a shower storm tomorrow. Most spots probably will not see it. The heat index, once again, will be flirting with the century mark. Rain chances relatively low tomorrow. We're going to put those back in a little bit Thursday and the Friday. We're cautiously optimistic for high school football this weekend for Friday night, and then we may see a few more storms early next week.
All right, thanks, Keith. The SEC announces times for several matchups. More on when you can catch State and Ole Miss this season next in sports.
Your WCBI Sports with Chris Bolton is brought to you by your local Ford dealers. Go further.
SEC football is right on the horizon as Ole Miss kicks off the Lane Kiffin era with the September 26th date against Florida. But the starting quarterback in this matchup for the Rebs has yet to be announced. The SEC's top rushing QB, true sophomore John Rice Plumlee, and redshirt sophomore quarterback Matt Corral and others continue to battle it out at fall camp for the starting job. Now, head coach Lane Kiffin, he says he likes what he's seeing from this group as they near the start of the season.
The quarterbacks both made some big plays and did some really good things. Just a lot of the explosive plays we just discussed. So I'm very pleased with their production. They need to take care of the ball a little bit better, but like where they're going with that.
Over in Tuscaloosa, the Crimson Tide continue getting ready for the upcoming season. It looks to be one like we've never seen before. This has been a wild offseason to say the least. No spring practice and a limited fall camp have made preparations for a 10-game SEC slate that much tougher. But the players say the coaches have done a good job in helping the team battle through all the obstacles before hitting the gridiron.
No spring ball, no class. We're home for all this time. We're doing Zoom meetings. And so I think I kind of applaud our coaches and the university for how well they've handled this because there's so much uncertainty. Whether it be, are we going to play? What were we going to play? What's going on outside the world? You have this entire social justice movement as well, and an election year. So I think our coaches and staff have handled it really, really well as far as preparing us and giving us the best opportunity to be able to play.
Now, earlier today, the SEC announced some start times and network for games across the conference. Here are how things shape up for Ole Miss. They host Dan Mullen and the Gators for the season opener September 26 at 11 a.m. on ESPN. The following week, they play at Kentucky at 3 p.m. on the SEC Network. Then on October 17th, the Rebs travel to play Arkansas. At what time and on what network? We still don't know for certain, but it can be anywhere from 11 a.m. to 2:30 or 3 p.m. Now for MSU in Starkville, times for 5 games have been announced. You can watch the State LSU season opener at 2:30 here on WCBI. The next week, MSU's home opener against Arkansas will be at 6:30 on the SEC Network alternate. Then on October 17th, State hosts A&M at a time we'll learn more about moving forward. Then the Dogs will travel to Bama October 31st and play at 6 p.m. on ESPN. And on November 7th, State hosts Vandy at 3 p.m. on SEC Network. In high school football, the Mississippi High School Athletic Association is working on making a decision on where the high school football state championships will be held. They were originally planned to be at Davis Wade Stadium this year on December 4th and 5th, but the Bulldogs now host Missouri on the 5th. Both Ole Miss and Southern Miss don't have any home games that weekend, which makes them possible options. So it's going to be we'll have a great football year. We'll see about the championships where we're going to host them, but that's all we have for sports. We'll have more coming up after the break.
Some thunderstorms west and northwest of Oxford, which is right here. So some of that could graze the Fayette County. The strongest storm out here near West Helena, Arkansas, that is actually moving northeast, and that's not going to really affect your area. But there's a little bit of rain out there in the Delta. Some of that, again, grazing far northwestern parts of our coverage area. Most spots stay dry tonight and tomorrow. A few showers and storms possible again Thursday, Friday. A little bit lower humidity, if we can call it that. Still warm during the day, but we'll take anything we can get for the weekend, Joy. Maybe some lows in the 60s again.
I was going to say lower humidity. That's like a Christmas present come early.
Now that we're into September, more and more days will be coming.
There you go. All right, thanks for joining us, everybody. Have a good night.